Hi, this is my video review of Dungeons & Dragons Essentials Dungeon Tiles Master Set The Wilderness. This is a set of tiles so you can use in your wilderness adventures when you play Dungeons & Dragons or other games that use miniatures such as Pathfinder or Savage Worlds. The box is pretty cool because it's pretty sturdy, but it also serves as a tile by itself. As you can see, it's already marked with all those little squares. And if you have a lot of boxes, you can create a three-dimensional battlefield for your miniatures to play on, like little slopes or maybe mountains even. Well, let's talk about the tiles. You have a good variety of them. There are some very small tiles to represent, for example, you have a tree over here, and or maybe a forest fire. So as you can see, this tree could be represented as a tree that was set on fire. And you also have different types of lakes, and they are all double-sided. Each tile has different elements on each side. That may be a bit of a downside to this product, because if you want to use, for example, you want to use this rock and this lake, you would have to buy two sets. So there's a bit of a limit on the types of battlefields and wilderness environments you can design. But it has a pretty good variety. You also have roads that also double as rivers. You also have skeletons, and they also represent boulders. You also have some hazardous elements. For example, you have a sort of pit or chasm here, and here's like a destroyed forest, maybe from a battlefield or a forest fire. You also have the tiles are pretty useful and flexible, because even if you're not using, for example, this one that is a large tree from a forest fire, as you can see, you can use it to represent different spell effects. You also have a small cottage or a house, like a little shack right here. And the cool thing is that you can pretty much redesign or redecorate any of the tiles by adding elements. Or, for example, you have this bridge with water over here, but maybe you want to use this like I don't know, like a wagon, like a destroyed wagon, and you can keep switching and using different elements. You also get a horse for your characters to ride, and you get a tower. You also have a small camp, and you have also other tents and other elements you can use to decorate that camp, to add more detail to the scene, and so that you don't have to use the same thing over and over again. You also have a dungeon entrance. You can see the stairway going down. You have some slopes. But as I told you, I think it's a lot more cool to use the box as a three-dimensional slope for your characters to move on over. And, well, sorry. My verdict is that the tiles are pretty good. They're very sturdy. They are well decorated, and they don't scratch easily. You can move miniatures around them, and the surface won't lose its color. I think the only negative point to this set is that, as I told you, you can't really use the tiles in. For example, you want the rock, and you want it to be placed next to this lake. You have to buy two sets. But I think it's actually worth to buy 2 or 3 sets of this, because you can represent some pretty cool battlefields, and it's not only useful for role-playing games. It's also very good for Warhammer and other war games. because as I told you, the box serves as different levels for slopes and small mountains, so you can easily put a battlefield together without having to transport your war game table. And the squares are pretty clear, and they don't have like an entire line crisscrossing the entire tile, so it's pretty useful when you want to add a bit more flavor to your encounters. Of course, there are a lot of people who don't use tiles in their role-playing game sessions, but for those of you who enjoy all that tactical combat, taking 5 foot steps around the field, the area of effect, these tiles are definitely worth it, and especially for all those wilderness adventures, because in my experience, I've noticed that dungeon-based adventures are a lot more popular than just moving around a forest or a swamp. So this has the perfect setup or the cosmetic effect for those encounters. Well, I highly recommend it. You should get at least one set, but getting two or three, it's highly recommended. Thanks for watching my review. If you have any comments or questions, please type them down and I will read them. See you later.